Hi, thanks for joining me with Embedding Creativity in Your LibGuides. My name's Meredith Kostek, and let's get ready to dig into our creativity.
Hi. Before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm the Research, Instruction, and Engagement Librarian at the Boley Law Library at Lewis and Clark Law School in Portland, Oregon. That's important to understand because in my job, I do both research, instruction, and engagement. And so my mind is constantly thinking, how can I do all three of these things with every interaction I see? If I'm in a interaction, I might say, how can I add instruction into this reference interaction? Will other students benefit from the information or interaction? And should I do something more about that? If I'm doing instruction, then I might ask myself, how do I add enough research to my instruction so students become familiar with the basics quickly? How can I vary my instruction to keep students engaged in the learning? And then if I'm working through engagement, I might say to myself, what tools can I use to make this reference interaction more accessible to all students? How can I open up this instruction beyond the classroom or workshop model? So my brain is constantly thinking of all three of these things with every interaction that I have. And so often I try to boil all of these ideas going around in my head to one way to express all of that. And what I've found is that by embedding tools into our LibGuides, I'm able to express multiple ideas in multiple ways. And so we're going to talk about ways to embed ideas into your LibGuides. We're going to do that in three different parts. Part one, for the very beginner in embedding, we're going to learn how to use embedding tools to engage your audience, specifically how to embed in LibGuides. We're going to embed some videos and some puzzles and other found items that I'll show you examples that we use here at Boley. In part two, we're going to create Canva-based designs to embed in our guides. And then we'll talk about accessibility and how to make sure what you're embedding is accessible, not only to everybody out on the web, but to your specific guidelines for your school. And then part three, we're going to create interactive Google Slides to embed in your guides that go beyond just a slide presentation, but add interactivity for your students. So what is embedding? Embedding refers to using computer code to place something, such as a video or other element, into a web page. By embedding on your website, the user can interact with that element without leaving your library's website. Embedding helps keep your users on your website. It's called website engagement. It allows you to use the style of your website that you might have to use for your school. It helps prevent security breaches. And when using programs like LibGuides, it requires little to no programming knowledge. So what is website engagement? Website engagement is a patron's active connection or commitment to a relationship with the entity behind the website. You want to create this website engagement. You can do this by interactivity, participation, experiences, relationship building. And one of the big things is keeping the user on your website. So not having them go off of your website to something else, but keeping them on your website. So let's get started with finding something that we want to embed in our website. And we'll go ahead and look at a prepared guide. So here is our Embedding Creativity Guide, and let's go through the steps on how we're going to embed. So the first thing is finding something that you want to embed. We're going to embed a video that I made from YouTube. And so simply we go to YouTube, our YouTube video. We're going to go to Share, and then instead of selecting this, we're going to select the embed code. I can go ahead and copy that. And notice that I can also start this video wherever I want to start it. Maybe this is a 15-minute video and I only want you to watch the last 5 minutes of it. I would set that and then select this, and then my video will embed at that specific time without having to do any video editing. So I've selected that. I will now go to my box. I will select Media Widget. And then I give it a name. This is a private name, so you can give it anything you want, but it helps you find it if you're going to reuse an existing widget somewhere else. So we'll just say creativity. And then I will go ahead and paste what we've just selected, and you'll see that it is an iframe, and that is an inline frame, and that means we are adding a frame to our website that allows you to view what is there. You'll notice there is a width and a height already prescribed, and that comes from YouTube. So I'll go ahead and save it. I'll put it, there's nothing else really in my box, so it can go to the bottom of the box. And I'll go ahead and save it, and we'll see that here is the video that we wanted to embed. As simple as that, and then we can preview it with our little eye over here and look at it, and we see that we can play this video on our website. We don't have to watch it on YouTube. We can watch it on our website. Now, some of you might want to go that next step and say, I would like my video to expand and contract depending on the screen size of the user. So there are several different ways to create a responsive iframe. I have found that the easiest is to add additional coding, and I've added that coding here in red. And so it's the embed responsive 16:9, and then within that iframe, you add that class, and then end your div. And so I'm going to go ahead and let's just add that so we can see the difference. Same process, media widget, we're going to do responsive, and then we'll just select that. And we'll see the difference in size. So it has filled up my entire frame, and it will stay in that frame size. So let's go ahead and we can look at it again. But what you'll notice is if I were to make this smaller or larger, it will keep that 16:9 frame size. So really easy to embed anything that you find on the web that you think would enhance your website, whether you've created it or you've used a program to create it, or it's something that you have permission to then use on your website. You can find existing HTML code to embed in all different places. Instagram has it, YouTube has it. Here is a puzzle, you find the script there. Spotify, Padlet happens to be a favorite of mine, and I'll show you a couple of examples of ways that we have used both Padlet, YouTube, and some puzzles here at Bully, so you can see how we have used embedding to engage our students. So the first one I want to show you is a Padlet immigration law history timeline. So I've created this on Padlet, and then I've embedded it into our immigration law research guide. This is a history of it, and then each one of these has hyperlinks, and so I can scroll through. We've added pictures, different documents, and all of that. So this is, again, something I created and then embedded on our website so that we can then see and use all of those things. Another thing, this is how we use videos within our websites. This is part of our legal research certification program, and we have a series of videos that are part of that, and so we create those on YouTube and then embed them within our certification program. But we also do fun things. Here we have embedded puzzles for our different exam tips, and just we change these puzzles out relatively frequently to kind of do something interesting and fun. And then here's another use for Padlet. We have our Bacon at our school, and he receives different gifts and offerings around exam time, or maybe just a touch on his nose. But during the pandemic, we created a virtual Bacon so that people can just add different notes. So this again was created in Padlet and then embedded onto our website. Up next, we're going to go into part 2 with creating your own content and then accessibility questions.